Well, obviously playing very well, Jim, and the pitch is in good nick. Unfortunately, I think for everybody, the wind subsided somewhat. I mean, if it had been yesterday, it would have been diabolical, but the wind's down, and I think it'll be a good game.
Just looking at one or two of the key characters, Brian Robson, back controversially in the United side, but Ian, he does make a massive difference to them.
Oh, well, I think everybody wants to see him back. You know, all the football fans around the country want to see Brian Robson playing. He's such an important player for United. I saw him playing on Wednesday night in a cup tie, and again, he was there. It didn't look as if he'd been off. He was playing terrific.
There's a lovely shot of Alvin Martin leading out the Hammers. Good crowd. Big Phil Parks, who's kept goal for them so well this season.
Nice, man. That's how we used to walk out.
Coming out at your pace, Steve Walford
my
there.
pace, that's
right.
Yeah.
Let's just move on with you, Jimmy, and have a look at one of the other key men. That is little Jesper Olsen, the Dane, who's really playing well after...
Well, he's playing well now, isn't he? He came over with big high hopes, and now he's beginning to fulfil them. And as you can see here, this is a lovely build-up, and that was Brian Robson on the ball there.
There's a lot of talk up north, Jim, that they're saying that Olsen is another Georgie Best. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I don't think there's anybody who'll be another Georgie Best, but you can see by the control and the skill that is very Best-like in his approach to the situation. And it is marvellous to see a player with that sort of skill and coolness in the box, JR, isn't it?
Right, and just moving to the West Ham team and to Alvin Martin. Now, there's talk here that he's the best centre-half West Ham have ever had, Ian, but you've got some pretty strong opinions about him.
Well, no, it says in the programme that he's the best centre-half in the country. Now, I dispute that. I don't think he's the best centre-half. He may be the best English centre-half, mind you. I think today is a very important game for Alvin Martin because the England central defensive positions are not quite right, and if he plays well today against this Manchester United attack, he will convince Bobby Robson today that he's the man for Mexico.
Right, and Bobby Robson is here. The man up front who's been getting all the goals for West Ham, Frank McAvenny.
Frank, yeah, well, he came down unheralded, unlike Charlie Nicholas did 3 seasons ago. Nobody really knew he'd arrived. And they soon found out that he had, Jim, because he scored a lot of goals this season, as you can see. Man on the top of his game. And really, I think that's one big worry for me, is West Ham rely on him and Tony Cottee a little bit too much to score their goals. So he needs to keep going, really.
Right, St. Jimmy, thanks very much indeed. We will talk again at half-time. Your commentary team this afternoon, I'm delighted to welcome David Pleat, the Luton Town manager. There he is, he's the good-looking one, nearer to the camera. And, of course, David is sitting alongside Brian Moore.
David, we've got to be a bit muffled up on a rather bleak afternoon in East London. Let me first give you the 2 teams for today, though. West Ham with Phil Parks in goal. A back 4 with George Paris, who's been playing in midfield, slotting there into the back position for only his 2nd game in the First Division in that position, in place of the suspended Ray Stewart. And in the midfield, it means there's a vacant spot there. That now goes to Jeff Pike. It's his first full game of the season following a hernia operation for Jeff. And up front, well, as we've heard, Frank McAvenny and Tony Cottee, that deadly double act with 33 goals between them this season. Manchester United, Gary Bailey in goal. The usual back 4. Watch out for Goodman and Orbiston coming forward. In the midfield, it's likely we hear that Jesper Olsen will move to the right side in place of the injured Gordon Strachan. Brian Robson, Norman Whiteside anchoring the middle. Colin Gibson marauding down the left, and up front Mark Hughes back after suspension with Frank Stapleton, and the new signing Terry Gibson, he's the substitute today. The referee today comes from Leicestershire, Kirby Maxlow, and his name is John Ball. Quick word from David Pleat. Prospects are very high, David.
Yes, fascinating afternoon's entertainment in store, I'm sure. I think the onus is on the sides that are privileged enough to get the television allocated time to really produce the goods, and I'm sure in today's 2 teams we have enough exciting attacking players to really give the viewers something fascinating to see.
Well, the atmosphere is tremendous here, as it always is at Upton Park. Compact crowd, and the crowd, and in that crowd you can see the England manager looking forward to a sparkling 90 minutes. West Ham kicking off, attacking the goal to our right. This is George Paris, the 21-year-old. Little Mark Ward, a long ball. The pace of McAvenny was in no way likely to reach that ball that goes through to Bailey. Paris again. West Ham, as Jim Rosenthal was saying, has had a very good record here. They've lost only once at home, and that, I quickly say, to David Pleat's side, Luton Town. Luton had a good record against West Ham and against Manchester United this season, because they drew 1-1 at Kenilworth Road against Luton. The ball going into touch. A throw to Manchester United. In fact, it's a free kick. United with a remarkable record in London. They've gone 12 games without being beaten, and yet they have to go back to 67-68 for their last win in the league here. Well, in the end, they struggled to get it away, and there was a kick in the face, I think that was for Alan Devonshire, by one of his own defending colleagues. A real bang. Well, you can see it's drawn blood and a bump there already. Well, that's a marvellous way to start an afternoon, I must say. As cold and as chilly as this, and as important as this. But and Devonshire's had his problems with injury, but I think that's something that he'll quickly overcome, and he'll be back in the action again. And I don't think it'll be a great problem for John Lyall, the West Ham manager, the longest serving manager in the Football League. He's been here at Upton Park since 1974. Look at that, Brian Clough's at Nottingham Forest since 75. Graham Taylor at Watford since 77. And look who's number 4, David Pleat, been manager in the First Division there with Luton since January 78. And Mick Buxton of Huddersfield, October 78. Well, while you've been seeing that, there is a slight problem for Alan Devonshire. And I would think that'll be a quick stitch and he'll maybe back on the field, but at the moment West Ham down to 10. There's Gale with his header, and Dickens brought down. Well, that's extraordinary. The free kick's given Manchester United's way. So a few problems here in the opening minutes for West Ham, down to 10 men, being pushed back all the time. Let's see what United can come up with this free kick. Gibson behind it. Whiteside there or thereabouts. Brian Robson too. Robson, the little touch there. Hammered with the left foot by Gibson, just wide of the post. So not quite the start West Ham would want, David Pleat.
Well, I think Manchester will take advantage of Devonshire off, although I'm sure it'll only be briefly, to force the issue against West Ham. But West Ham are very good at defending this year. They've defended well in depth as a team, and I believe at least 10 clean sheets all season. So it says a lot for their organisation defensively. Indeed, 8 clean sheets in the last 10 games, which says a lot for them. McAvenny couldn't quite get the touch there. Paris diving in low to get to it. Ward plays it on, but it comes... Well, the West Ham fans, and I must say I thought so too, that it came off Colin Gibson finally, but the throw's given to Manchester United. And Arthur Albiston will take it, getting it back to Gary Bailey. The sides have met twice this season. Up at Old Trafford in the league, United won 2-0, and in the Milk Cup there they won 1-0. A foul on Mark Ward. In fact, he was a very controversial figure, was Mark Ward, in the cup defeat in the Milk Cup up at Old Trafford, when West Ham felt that he scored a perfectly legitimate free kick goal that was disallowed. A little man who came from Oldham. Free kick taken by the big man, Tony Gale, who came from Fulham. Dickens up there, flicking it on, but Cotty couldn't get to it. Still no sign of Devonshire coming back. You can imagine the feverish activity that's going on in the dressing room with the doctor at the moment to get him back. Gale, an easy touch there for Paris. To struggle into that clearance, but found Dickens. Now Ward, Whiteside ducking in. United coming forward in some strength. Here's Mark Hughes. Gidman away on the right, but this is for McGrath. Gale away. And Manchester United's throw. Cotty. Came off Pike. Martin. Now
Cotti, a beautiful ball by Alvin Martin. McAvenny's gone through in the middle, and he won't get to it. Harris getting in, and gets shoved in the back. Quick word from you, David Pleat, about Alvin Martin. Ian St John obviously none too keen on him, but your feelings?
Well, I'm not as fortunate as some to have seen him regularly, but when I have seen him, he's done exceptionally well. And the thing I like about him is when he comes out of defence with the ball, he can use it, and he's got a lot of subtlety in his feet, a lot for a big man and for a centre-half. So I think that type of player who doesn't give the ball away will be quite vital in Mexico.
Well, here he's doing just that, finding his man, but it didn't come back to him, and it could open up things for Manchester United. Olsen trying to get it into the path of Stapleton. A long shot again, wide of the mark. Some speculation as to whether Frank Stapleton would be the one to lose his place with the arrival of Terry Gibson, but Ron Atkinson has stayed firm with Stapleton. Phil Parks with the goal kick for West Ham. McGrath versus Dickens. Comes for little Jeff Pike. Whiteside looking up, finding Robson. Pike was after him. Whiteside again, and Gibson will not get to that. Ward's touch to Dickens. Ward again. Pike didn't give him very much chance, but he made something of it and found Steve Walford. United throw.
I think McAvenny's going to be a lone raider up front until Devonshire returns. In actual fact, they've moved Cotti onto the left-hand side, and it's going to be very difficult for West Ham to mount attacks, in as much as they've only one target man, McAvenny, rather than a true normal.
Played towards Whiteside. Gidman. Olsen. Whiteside, McGrath. Free kick to Manchester United. And the referee not too happy with the challenge by Alan Dickens. And let's see what United can make with this. West Ham still down to 10 men, remember. Gidman floating it in. And Ward it was who got it away, but nobody up for West Ham. They were all hands to the pump in defence. Paris, and the ball coming off Orbiston for West Ham throw. George Paris. A real all-action player. In fact, John Lyle says he's got a bit of Billy Bonds in him. Martin. Ward. Martin. Now McAvenny on the chase again. Oh, my word. Just as well Bailey took evasive action, and McAvenny wanting to get in there, and the referee now wanting a word. Oh, my word, he's going to take his name.
There's been several tough challenges so far, and Mr. Ball, the referee from Leicestershire, in an attempt to assert his authority, has given 1 or 2 free kicks rather quickly. I don't think McAvenny really, at the end of the day, was determined to get Bailey.
Well, whether he deserved or whether he was determined to or not, the name of McAvenny goes into the referee's book. Whiteside. Ward getting it back safely. Good play. Pike looking for Dickens, a misunderstanding. It falls for Gidman. Heather Devonshire has left the dressing room and was shortly back on the field of play. There he goes. It's a good sight for the West Ham fans, but this is not so good as Hughes goes through, plays it across the goal, and Stapleton wasn't far from being in a position to tap it in. A goal kick for West Ham, and the cheers go around Upton Park as we look at this replay again. A lovely ball played into the path of Mark Hughes, wide of the post, and the applause for the return of Alan Devonshire. Can't tell from my picture whether there's 4 stitches, we gather. Well, he'll have a headache, that's for sure. In the next 80-odd minutes he'll be looking to give United 1 or 2 in return. Here's Paris. McAvenny up ahead of him. A beautiful ball played by Paris for McAvenny, and quickly into the fray was Paul McGrath for Manchester United as West Ham win their first corner of the game.
Splendid pass by the young fella there, and there's always space behind the Manchester United back four. They're very well organised, but they do give space behind them if they can time the runs right, West Ham.
Well, here comes the corner with Mark Ward. A very deep one indeed towards Alvin Martin, who got the header in. Stapleton got it away. A header by Devonshire. Devonshire again for West Ham. A little touch by him for Cotty. And another corner, no. Oh, a great punch there by Bailey. Olsen helping it away. It'll be a great relief for West Ham to get Devonshire back. It restores the balance in their side. Quite apart from what it does psychologically. He's had such a bad time with injuries, losing most of last season, still bleeding pretty badly by the look of it. Walford playing it in first time. The flag was up. The punch was there again by Bailey. The referee has still not seen the flag, and the linesman is still flagging, and it'll be a goal kick. The referee was a long time spotting that linesman's flag. And I noticed that very shortly after he came back, Alan Devonshire was forced into a header. Whether that's opened up the stitches on his wound or not, I don't know. Bailey with the kick. Good work by Alvin Martin. Moran, the challenge by Dickens beat him, and the flag was up for offside against Ward. It's a really partisan atmosphere here today, David Pleat.
Yes, First Division is a fierce theatre, and I think to get to the top of the First Division, you're not only got to be skillful, you've got to be very determined and enthusiastic with all the challenging, and you've got 2 teams here just showing why they've got to the top of the league.
Well, it's Arthur Orbiston with Manchester United's free kick. Coming up to a quarter of an hour gone and no score. Dickens with a nice little touch there for Pike. Good play by Pike. Now Paris. Back to the big man, 6'3", Phil Parks. Moran versus McAvenny. Orbiston's header, won by Pike. Here's Ward. Paris. Again a West Ham throw. Paris with it. Little Mark Ward. Got real dig on him if he gets within range of goal. Pike again. Same can be said for Pike. Paris. Hitting a good cross in towards McAvenny, but it didn't get to him. Olsen. Tremendous pace this game's being played at as well. Hughes on the far side for Manchester United. Robson's gone through the middle. Olsen's gone through the middle as well. Got support from Gidman. Mark Hughes again. Now the support is with Whiteside. Hughes again. And he's given it to Ward. McAvenny and Cotty are up ahead of him. Playing a nice ball again into the path of McAvenny. Couldn't quite keep it in. Albiston. Confidence there in the defence of Manchester United. Olsen, a little chip ball. Paris sticking with Stapleton. Now Tony Gale. Again, that long ball floated towards McAvenny. Dickens' challenge on Robson is penalised. Dickens claiming that he'd got the ball and had found Mark Ward with it, and a shake of the hands there, you just caught between the two of them. So 16 and a half minutes gone, West Ham 0, Manchester United 0 in this crucial game at the top of the First Division. Kevin Moran with the kick for Manchester United. Martin versus Stapleton, and Martin pulling Stapleton to the ground. This could be a problem area for West Ham. A free kick to Manchester United, 2 yards outside the penalty area. Four in the wall, 5 now as they're joined by McAvenny. No, he's gone wide to offset any challenge that might come down the left out of your picture from Arthur Albiston. Robson, Colin Gibson and Norman Whiteside behind it, but Gidman's also lurking. It's Colin Gibson knocking it out as far as McGrath there. Whiteside, Stapleton, Olsen, Gidman, Whiteside, the chip coming in, Alvin Martin's header away, here's Pike. Stapleton chasing this one, and keeping it in. No, it's behind for the goal kick.
West Ham United are quite happy to concede space in front of them and allow Manchester United to play the football, but in the end it has to come in towards the central defenders Gale and Martin, and they're very adequate at dealing with those balls. By contrast, United hold a tight back line. I think they're very well organised defensively. I think Mick Brown takes a lot of credit for that, but there is room behind them if West Ham can time their runs.
The ball now with Colin Gibson. Good strong challenge by George Paris. My co-commentator today, if you don't immediately recognise the voice, is David Pleat of Luton Town. Gibson playing it in. Devonshire cushioning one on his injured forehead. Martin's header, cleverly putting it sideways, out of danger for Steve Walford. Now for Cottee. Turned McGrath well there and got a throw.
That was a good example when he beat McGrath there. The whole back line were trying to hold, accepting that McGrath would win that, and by beating him, Cottee had them in problems.
Rennie, finding Dickens, but it caught Cottee wrong-footed. And now they're back to full strength with Devonshire on the field. You feel that West Ham's balance has improved and their confidence as well, and they can now come forward and attack United. Whiteside, Gibson. Hughes, good strong challenge that time by Martin. McAvenny, Cottee inside. United are caught out here, but can Cottee make them pay for it? Oh, tremendous piece of recovery though by Kevin Moran. When United were caught flat in defence and Cottee got behind them. Great sprint and a great challenge by Kevin Moran, and Ward with the corner for West Ham. Dickens with the shot, and Cottee couldn't quite get the touch. Exciting stuff, David.
Yes, for all United's territorial advantage so far, West Ham look more dangerous on the break.
And the shot by Dickens, and Cottee not quite able to get to it at the other end. to. McAvenny on his way this time, felt that he was slightly impeded. Moran is doing really well, my word. And Moran could well be injured there. The challenge by Mark Ward, and the referee is now having a word with Mark Ward for the challenge on Moran. Could be the second West Ham name to go in the book. Moran in trouble. Crashed into the advertising hoardings there. There's so little room between the touchline and those hoardings. And let's have a look at this, David. Well,
he was already running out of ground, and I don't think he could have influenced it too much by the challenge.
But I tell you, his name's gone in the book.
Both teams seemed quite psyched up for this game. There is a possibility of meeting in the FA Cup, and I'm sure that's in the minds also. There's been no quarter given or taken at the moment, and it will be a test of the referee's abilities.
Well, the referee's having a word with Brian Robson now. Now, whether Brian Robson's had a word with the referee about that challenge, but there was more than just a casual conversation. And Kevin Moran, who is a man so often in the wars in football. Now, I don't honestly think you can put a lot of blame on Mark Ward there, to be absolutely honest. There were two fellas going hard for the ball, and so little ground for them to either win or lose it.
Had the boards not been there, the tackle would have possibly seemed quite innocuous. It just happens that the boards here at West Ham are quite close.
Mark Ward, the lads who came here from Oldham, you can see it looks as though it's the right hand of Kevin Moran. And the England and Manchester United skipper having a word with the referee about it. I must say, if there's an injury to get, poor old Kevin Moran seems to pick him up. But he's so valuable to Manchester United in defence. And he's one tremendous warrior, and he'll be battling on. We saw a little earlier how he stopped Cottee in his stride with a tremendous interception, and he's got his fingers strapped together. That must be a really painful injury, and I don't know whether that indicates a break or not. We might get news of that later for you. This is almost like a cup tie today. Ward now with the throw for West Ham. Pike, Paris, and I hope you get the feeling at home here. At any rate, you feel you can't take your eyes off it for a moment. The West Ham throw, George Paris with it. McAvenny versus Moran. Moran getting it into touch, and West Ham the throw. Coming up to 25 minutes, if you've just joined us. West Ham 0, Manchester United 0. George Paris, quite a good, long, respectable throw there. The corner. Ward will take it. Gale and Martin, both six-footers, have gone forward. Cottee turning it back, but too high. I think in a way Tony Cottee has benefited from Frank McAvenny's arrival in the way that McAvenny has taken so much of the publicity and the glare, the spotlight and so on, that this young man has just gone on and on doing his job and scoring the goals. We understand it's a dislocated finger that Kevin Moran's got. Wolford. Oh, the little touch there. Might get Robson in! A goal for Manchester United, Brian Robson! Well, that's the perfect end of a pretty miserable week for Brian. Scored in this corresponding match last season, and he scored the opening goal now with 26 minutes gone. As Parks came out, well-controlled and well-taken goal, David Pleat.
Yes, it's easy to be critical, but one can't help thinking that Parks' starting position might have just been a little bit too deep. He gave himself too much to do.
Olsen. I must say, when Manchester United arrived here, you couldn't have imagined a more determined-looking bunch of characters walking down the corridor to the dressing room. Obviously, deeply offended that Everton had taken their pole position yesterday and determined to do something about it today. Well, an incident there, and Brian Robson involved, and the referee wanting a word. Robson claiming, I think, that a boot caught him around the jaw. David Pleat?
Well, it's certainly more exciting than being at home washing up, Brian, that's for sure. It's fierce, it's furious. I don't think there was any harm once again there, but of course, you know, players have got to realise that if you're going to give it, you've got to take it. And by the same token, if you start writhing on the ground, then people are going to assume that it's worse than it really is. They're all in the same union together, these players. They're in the PFA, and they've got to respect each other.
And nothing wrong there whatsoever, as our slow-motion replay proved. So Manchester United leading by a goal to nil. Brian Robson the scorer. Now from West Ham, pull it round. Oh, I think Alan Devonshire will need some more attention at half-time, that's for sure. Gotti. Played back again to Walford. Another throw to West Ham. There's Ward. Gale. Ward again. Popping up left side midfield position at the moment. And it breaks for Colin Gibson. Robson, total miscue there by Brian Robson, and Pleat will get it away. Gotti, touching for Dickens. No, he's lost that to Whiteside. Big Paul McGrath. A touch on that time by Hughes. Martin and Paris, and a foul and a free kick to West Ham. You're right, David. Both these sides are heavily psyched up for this game, and no mistake.
It's nice to see the coloured boy who got involved in that incident there get up quickly on his feet with a smile on his face and play on quickly. And that takes the heat out of the game.
Now Devonshire played in for McAvenny. Still struggling to keep possession, but then losing it, and it comes to Stapleton. And now for Jesper Olsen. Martin getting back. Plays for Hughes. Good play again by George Paris. Martin, Cotti is onside. Faced by McGrath. Couldn't get his shot in and didn't even get a corner. And Brian Robson back there doing a good captain's job. Wildly exciting game, which Manchester United that is, are leading by 1-0. Gotti. Throw wasn't good enough. Robson. Whiteside. McGrath. Kidman. In there again, but Colin Gibson withstood that challenge. Might get it onto the left foot. And that was Dale who did good work for West Ham there. Now it's with Pike. Played in for McAvenny.
Martin's proving an inspirational figure at the heart of the West Ham defence at the moment. The last pass that he made out to the left side was a superb pass, and the type of football that he can play when he comes into more forward areas.
Alverston now for Manchester United. Stapleton, not much space down there. Harris in very close contact. The ball didn't quite go out of play. Neither did it there. It seems now it has, for a corner to Manchester United. Their first of the game, but they lead by a goal to nil. Paul McGrath there, Norman Whiteside you can see in there. Real crowd in that 6-yard area, hit him low, and it was Devonshire who got it away. It's not a pretty sight at the moment, but I'm sure they'll do something at half-time to improve the situation. If you've just joined us, he got a nasty clatter on the forehead, I think from one of his own defenders early in the game, which has required 4 stitches. Hughes wriggling his way clear, and Parks down. Might have to use his head, but Olsen was jumping all over him. West Ham get the free kick. Steve Walford will take it. Cotty coming off his man well. Martin, but then losing out to Whiteside. And an offside flag, quite right, no question about it. It's a free kick. Dale just got a touch, so too did Dickens, and so too has Pike. Devonshire wanting it and getting it. Robson's after him, and West Ham get the throw. And a corner. Devonshire will take it. Faithfully, the 2 big central defenders are forward. Devonshire then with the corner. Well, in the end, it was McGrath who got the header away, and a valuable one it was. Paris playing it wide. What a good ball there by George Paris. Devonshire playing it in quickly, and Kidman can take his time to get it away. Presumably by Pike on Colin Gibson. Brian Robson, 26 minutes, West Ham 0, Manchester United 1, with 10 minutes to go to half-time. Paul McGrath, a London boy, plays though for the Republic of Ireland, with the free kick for Manchester United. Devonshire, no handball, though United claimed it was. McAvenny. So little room to move so far. Gibson. Alderston. Gibson again. Robson. Dickens. Mike. Ward. Robson in again for Manchester United. Hughes. In comes Devonshire and comes away with it superbly. And tries to set Cotty on his way again, but Bailey was there, quickly off his line. Free kick to West Ham. Robson climbing on Devonshire. Jeff White. McAvenny. It's going to be difficult to make something from those sort of areas. Ball out of play. And Ward. And now McAvenny. And a corner coming off Stapleton, who'd gone right back. In fact, it would have gone through quite comfortably to Gary Bailey. In a way, it's a corner needlessly given away by Manchester United. Martin and Gale are up there for West Ham, and again it's Mark Ward with it for the home team. Orford. Away comes Manchester United. Gibson stopped well by Pike. Even holding off Whiteside, but no, he couldn't manage it in the end, and a good advantage played by the referee, and then when he's brought down by Alvin Martin. Free kick, Kidman with it. It'll fall for Alveston. McAvenny. Chance for Ward to pick this one up. And now for Pike. Devonshire's away on the left. Pike driving up from a long way out. Good save by Bailey. There would have been a miraculous comeback to the first team by Jeff Pike. Tremendous shot. And good work by Bailey. Doesn't score that many goals in a season, Jeff Pike. They do tend to be rather spectacular ones, and I have to say they often seem to come when the television cameras are around. And not easy to slot back for your first game of the season into a match like this, David Pleat.
No, but he's been a very reliable West Ham player over the years. He's got the loyalty of the West Ham youth in his blood. And he's always done a very good steady job for him, and particularly in midfield today. It's not easy. He's got to protect Dickens, supporting the front two.
Now McAvenny. And it's also Jeff Pike's testimonial year, and I think he deserves a good one. Well, at the moment it's Paris now, hitting from a long way out, and again Bailey's called into action. Really is warming up now, but Manchester United still leading by a goal to nil. Martin versus Hughes, another free kick. Foul by Hughes on the West Ham captain. Harris. I don't think McAvenny will get to that one. Moran getting it in. Oh, nice play by Manchester United. Very good skill, simple first time passing, and very accurate too. Hitman. Stapleton, in comes Martin. Now Steve Walford. Straight to McGrath. Now Gibson. What skills we've got at the moment. Hughes, lovely skills. Wilson. Robson from a long way out. Charged down by Dickens. Comes to Cotty. Pace is unrelenting. McAvenny on way, but McGrath just goes into overdrive and gets there to turn it back to Bailey. With all the commitment, David Pleat, there's some tremendous moments of high skill as well.
Oh, make no mistake about that. Very, very good game. I'm very impressed with the way Bailey's on his toes. Anything that's pushed through, and they're using the space behind the two fullbacks for McAvenny and Cotter to run and trying to play balls behind the fullbacks. But Bailey's really on the edge of his box, alert to any balls overplayed or available for any pass backs if necessary.
And here he is again. Nearly 300 league appearances for Manchester United, this 27-year-old. Devonshire. McAvenny. Foul, free kick. Moran helps him up.
Referees have to learn very early on to ignore the pleas of the crowd.
Said with some feeling by a First Division manager, I think there. But Tony Gale with West Ham's free kick. Good fist away again by Bailey. David Pleat quite right. He's coming to the edge of his box and alert to things that are coming through. But we've seen also today his punching has been absolutely first class. Devonshire. Walford's cross coming in, will quite get on the end of this one. Martin trying to stab it in and wasn't far from doing so. McAvenny on the turn, but wanted more time than United would allow him. And Whiteside curling it away for Hughes. Manchester United throw off George Paris. Paris, thanks for Gibson, a little touch for Whiteside, then for Robson. Hughes, in for Gibson, could be dangerous this for West Ham, Colin Gibson again. Well, that wasn't the finish at all. Having delicately tricked his way through, it was a blunderbuss of a finish, really.
Rather surprised at Parks there. He seemed as though he thought that Gibson had a better angle than he really had, and he came flying at his goal. Maybe a little bit of a calm pass by Gibson got better rewards.
Still United pushing forward. This is Paul McGrath, now with John Gidman. So the last minute now of the first half. Change of direction there by Ward, but he still couldn't get possession. This is Orbiston coming forward, stopped by Gale. Now Whiteside, here's Olsen, who's been fairly muted so far this afternoon, the little Dane. And he wasn't on the same wavelength as Gidman. Will have to come for this one and take emergency action. Devonshire. It didn't quite fall for McAvenny. Look at this defender coming through now. Moran. Gibson. Gale getting it away. And now Mark Ward. Ripping up the pace. Not that it's flagged really at all in this first half. A foul that time by Robson. Free kick to West Ham in the last seconds of the first half.
Robson has to be on his best behaviour, of course, now at all times because of that unfortunate indiscretion last week at Sunderland. And of course the crowd will over-exaggerate any challenge that he makes, and that's silly and unfortunate.
The determination on the face of the United skipper there, though. Determined to hold on to this 1-goal lead. Ward trying to get in. Quickly away by Ulverston. Hughes playing it for Whiteside. Now McGrath. And now Olsen. Comes off Martin. Now Cotty. No, it won't get to him. But it might get to Mark Ward. Oh, a good, strong and a brave challenge again by Kevin Moran. And another big one there by Robson. Harris with the throw. Finding Pike for West Ham. A little touch for McAvenny. A little touch didn't quite get through to Dickens. West Ham's throw. Something over 2 minutes of time added on now at the end of the first half. Harris again for West Ham. Versus Moran. Free kick to West Ham. I think the bounce fooled the Manchester United defender there and put his timing out. When he felt the challenge all right. Will Manchester United feel the punishment in the last seconds of this first half? Floating it wide towards Alvin Martin. Devonshire. Walford. Crossing there towards Dickens. And Cotty making a nuisance of himself there for a moment, claiming a corner, but the linesman was very well placed to see that it hadn't crossed the line. Adding on plenty of time for stoppages. Now the first half is over, and full of power and pace with a lot of skill mixed in with it. Jeff Pike there, the number 11, with a tremendous shot, superbly saved by Gary Bailey. The only goal of the first half then, scored by the Manchester United skipper Brian Robson after 26 minutes. Half-time score, then we shall of course be joining Jimmy Greaves, Ian St John with Jim Rosenthal. It's West Ham 0, Manchester United 1.
And welcome back to Upton Park. Tremendous first half then, United needing a win to go back to the top of the table, and they're a goal up here at half-time. Ian, 45 minutes of terrific entertainment.
Fabulous entertainment, Jim. Great game. I mean, you always get a good game here.
You always had good games here.
I always enjoyed playing here.
Who didn't? But the point is, it's a lot different now, isn't it, by the looks of it?
I tell you what, it's
tough, isn't it?
That is a tough game out there. I mean, that is as competitive a game as I've seen all year.
That's right.
Both sides.
A fierce theatre, I think David Pleat called the first division these days.
Yes, very nice, very educated.
I think he worked that one out possibly before he came to Upton Park. But let's have a little look at the goal that has put United ahead, and terrific work between.
Look at the run that Robson's making. He's come from the middle of the field.
Dink,
and I mean, we talk about Robson doing this, and then he's done it again. David made the point the goalkeeper may have been a little bit slow, but.
You know, the England skipper through there and showing why he is top man.
Took it well.
But Jimmy, nice to see Robson getting a goal here, because he's had a bit of a difficult time, hasn't he?
Yes, he has, and we wanted to see him do that. I'm very pleased that he's done it. I mean, regardless of whatever the result is or who you support, I think he needed that goal.
And Ian, when one of those situations really, I mean, when Robson moved on to that, all three of us said that's going to be a goal.
Well, he is very clinical at that.
Couldn't get that on, could you?
It was a nice one because it was bouncing, setting up lovely for him.
Now we've got a couple of controversial moments as well, a couple of bookings, and the first one involving Frank McAvenny. Jimmy.
Yes, well, to me it was a bad decision by the referee. the goalkeeper, Gary Bailey's let the ball go back into his hands. Frank's entitled to go for that. In fact, he nearly got done himself. And look, I don't know what Bailey's on about. I really don't. And I think the referee, John Ball, was not at his best when he booked Frank there. Although I will say it's been a tough old game, and the referee hasn't done badly, Jim, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
That was a bad decision.
Now, Ian, this one here, Ward on Moran.
Well, we thought, look, Ward didn't play the ball, because if you're playing the ball, Jim, you get your foot in front of it to block it. He played the man, and, you know, really and truly, Moran's lucky only to get away with a finger injury, because we cracked his head there.
The lad's lucky
to the boards.
The lad's lucky to be on the field as well. Because, I mean, harping back to the Robson incident a couple of weeks ago when he got sent off, when you see something like that, I mean, he never went for anything other than the man.
I mean, we don't want people sent off.
No,
That's the last thing we want. And a game like this, it's all give and take, all very competitive, but that was a hefty challenge.
It was a naughty one.
It has been a tremendously competitive afternoon, hasn't it? I mean, has it surprised you at all? Particularly West Ham.
That's what I'm saying, Jimmy. Usually, it's all nice football. But this season, the game in Manchester was good and competitive. And this is super. They were always nicey.
I mean, there've been some hard men down here. I can't remember any, but no, I mean, Billy Bond and people like that were very competitive, and to name but one, but
they're all piling in today.
Oh,
the forwards
God, are they just?
everybody's playing their part.
Absolutely. Should be a great second half, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and of course we will be back here. Hello again from Upton Park. Manchester United just coming out for the second half, but we have time to show you West Ham's best effort of the first half. And it came from Jeff Pike, and produced a fairly decent save from Gary Bailey, Jimmy.
It did indeed. Ward on the ball again there, fired him well. Jeff brings it forward, hits it very well indeed. And Gary, I mean, it was a great save, although you would have expected Gary Bailey to have saved it from that distance out. It was a good effort, though.
It's nice to see a little Pikey playing well, coming back, and getting in the team, because he's a terrific little competitive player, and I'm glad that he's playing well.
Right. OK, thanks a lot, fellas. I'm particularly pleased to see Alan Devonshire out there as well, who's had such a bad time with injuries. Although Alan's had a rather difficult first half with that cut on the head, and I'm glad to hear he's out for the second half. So here it comes, the second half, with David Pleat, the Luton Town manager, and Brian Moore.
Thank you, Jim. It's now started to rain a little bit as well, David Pleat. And that will just give an extra gloss to the surface and will quicken things up still more, I would imagine.
Actually, the playing surface is a tribute to the ground staff here. It's first class. This week we've had a lot of rain, and there's many pitches yesterday that were played in heaps of mud. This is in first class condition, and the extra little bit of rain now will give it just a greasy top. The players will like that.
Well, let's see if the second half can match the first in its excitement and its intensity. United, remember, leading by a goal to nil. Steve Walford caught on the wrong foot there a little bit, and Mark Ward putting George Paris under a bit of pressure. Manchester United, remember, in their changed strip of white this afternoon. Brian Robson, their goal scorer after 26 minutes. Well, they've knocked the blood off Alan Devonshire's brow. He had that knock early in the game that required 4 stitches. He would have had many more league games if he'd had better luck with injuries over the last 12 to 18 months as well. Albiston with the throw for Manchester United. Mike trying to get in there. Robson tidying up again, but this time the pass is astray and a throw for West Ham. Mike. Well played there by Devonshire. Pike delayed his pass just a fraction, and United get the possession back again. That's Alvin Martin. Olsen playing it inside, but again it's with Pike. John Goodman with the throw. 2 West Ham players going for that one. Devonshire again, and Walford now stabbing it into touch. Just can't get things going at the moment. Steve Walford, who had a very bad sore throat yesterday, and they had to check on him today before they could be sure that he'd play. Here he is again on the ball. but who hasn't had sore throats lately? Gale getting it away. Just can't get into their stride at the moment, West Ham. McAvenny wins the free kick, which is taken by Martin. McAvenny again. Little Mark Ward on the right-hand side. Couldn't quite keep it in play. He's a lively little customer. He was an apprentice with Everton and then discarded by them, and he was a Baker's roundsman for a little while until Oldham took him on. And then he came down to West Ham, and he's a real bundle of energy, this player, David Pleat.
Yes, he's a workaholic. He really works that line. He's very important in the system.
Pike. Martin. For Gale. Nothing different in the strategy of either side, is there, at the moment? Long clearance by Phil Parks.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if the scores remain the same, and I still feel United have got overdrive to step into at the moment. That they're in the lead, they've worked hard, but I feel that United could do a little bit more, and if that is the case, West Ham will have to counter that, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Goddard get a game today if everything stays at his same, and maybe pull McAvenny a little bit deeper to get running at the United defenders a little bit more.
It's Paul Goddard, the West Ham substitute, a striker. Devonshire miscuing that time. Gidman away. Now Walford. Gidman again. Giving the ball away a little too much at the moment, West Ham. But Walford safely getting that back to Phil Parks. McAvenny, and in again for McAvenny by Ward. Can Cotty get to this one? The header, in fact, was by a United player. It was, I think, probably Paul McGrath. So Bailey with the clearance. Touch by Hughes, and it was a lovely touch by him that led to the opening goal as well. But here's Devonshire for West Ham, one end to the other. Robson shadowing him. Gidman intercepting. Here's Olsen. Again, Devonshire in. Devonshire again. Playing it forward, and it comes off Dickinson. It might come from McAvenny. Couldn't quite force it home, and United had the bounce of the ball there. When out of nothing, it looked suddenly as though that deadly Scot was in there again. But here's Pike now for West Ham. McAvenny struggling to get to it, but Moran gets it away, and look at the space here now for Hughes. And Ward got back, couldn't get control. Alveston, a chance for West Ham to reform for a moment or two. Robson. Olsen. Deft little turn by him, but again the interception and the clearance by Devonshire. McAvenny trying to get in. And now the pace is picking up again, just as it was in the first half. Alveston. Ward finding Pike. McAvenny and Cotty up ahead of him. Finds McAvenny now for Cotty. And Gidman there. And the ball coming off Bailey. To safety for Manchester United. David Pleat.
Yeah, it's thrilling. Terrific. Not a game for the faint-hearted. Really fast, good, accurate passing.
McAvenny coming in a few moments ago when the bounce of the ball came United's way. There's also some good last-ditch defending there too. Harris with a throw for West Ham. United still leading by a goal to nil. Ryan Robson, their scorer. And West Ham fighting for all their worth to get back on equal terms. Harris with the throw. Tony Gale. Bit of space for Olsen. Paris unintentionally tricked Stapleton, and Olsen was on his own, and Walford did the job for West Ham. Here we are with Devonshire now. Played in for Cotty for Devonshire. Walford struggling to get up there, so is Dickens. The ball beats them both, and it's a goal kick. A lovely touch there. Hughes playing it a little wider than Olsen would have wanted. Chance for the claret and blue shirts to get back. Kidman's long cross, only Ward on the far side, decided with Colin Gibson behind him that a corner was the best bet.
Ward there heading that ball for the corner just proved once again his terrific defensive work in this setup. Just recently he's ran back 70 yards to make a tremendous challenge. And both him and Devonshire worked terrifically hard for the team, but very deep at times. And I would like to see, personally, Devonshire at times just a little bit further forward.
Well, they may have to push him further forward if the score stays the way it is much longer. But it's a corner then for United, and an easy clearance that time for Tony Gale. Kidman playing it wide, but far too high for Colin Gibson. Ward again. Sending those Machiavelli legs racing once more, but the legs of Moran got there first. Pike. Space for Walford. Not much space down here for Cotty, but he controlled that well. He's such a tough little character. Now Devonshire picking up the loose one, trying a long shot, but over-ambitious. And there's a problem for Tony Gale at the other end of the field, down and injured. But United showing their calibre in so many ways as to why they've been there or thereabouts all season, David Pleat.
Yeah, they're very fast and they've got great individual players who can turn a game in a second. I'd like to see Olsen possibly do a little bit more when he's had the opportunity. I know he's used to playing on Sundays in Holland, but so far he doesn't look as though he's too happy today on Sunday.
Another fellow that interests me a lot is Paul Goddard, the substitute for West Ham, wondering if he's not really had the best of luck either with injuries. He broke a collarbone on the opening day of the season, and he's a striker of quality when he's really in the mood. Another fellow I want to talk to you about, though, is Colin Gibson. Ron Atkinson telling me earlier on this week that he's the sort of fellow that he'd recommend to Bobby Robson, who's here today, as a real two-in-one player that he should consider for Mexico, as a left-back, and also, as we've seen today, as a left-sided midfield man who can go forward with great venom.
He's certainly got a lot of pace, and the thing I like about him is he's got energy. He knows how to cover for other people, and that's the advantage of having someone in left midfield who has played at left-back. The other point about him, particularly for any youngsters watching, he has a particular trick. We call it the bicycle trick, when he places his right foot over the ball and round the ball and takes it on with his left foot. He does it particularly well, and it's nice to have a trick in your locker, and Gibson has always got that to do if he needs to do it.
And also another distinguished visitor that we like to have here today, actually in our studio, is the young lady there called Vesna Lukic, who was pulled out of the Manchester United air crash by the great Harry Gregg way back in 1958 in February. That's 28 years ago. She's come over from Yugoslavia, so she's got a great affinity with Manchester United, but you know, this is the first time she's actually seen them play in the flesh. She's seen them on television, the first time she's seen them play. She's a good luck charm for them. Incidentally, she tells me that Bobby Charlton gave her a teddy bear way back in the hospital in those terrible days in Munich, and that's a teddy bear she's still got. It's lovely to have her with us. Well, Tony Gale's okay. It's a tough old game out there this afternoon, and I hope you're enjoying it as much at home as we are here. Whiteside gets himself together and on his feet, he might find a book. You can see the book there. And so we wait. And the referee's patience may become exhausted. When you talk about commitment, you think about Norman Whiteside, really, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know, was he booked then? I'm not
No,
sure.
he didn't. He decided to put it away, but I think I think Whiteside got the message. I'm sure no matter how much Ron Atkinson preaches to Whiteside the importance of non-retaliation, he still has that little feeling for it in himself.
McGrath, cut out by Warford, beating Olsen for the ball. A little touch by Pike, trying to reach Mark Ward, who in turn tries to get it to Paris. And I think the referee is pulling them back for an obstruction there by Gibson on Paris, and it'll be an indirect free kick to West Ham.
I think the boy Paris has done particularly well this afternoon. I thought early on the crowd were a little bit slow to appreciate his efforts, but he certainly won them over.
I'll tell you somebody who's not slow to appreciate his efforts, and that's his manager, John Lyle. There's a long free kick from Ward. Martin didn't get to it. Pike has got to it here. Martin's struggling to go to it, but the other big centre-half, Paul McGrath, leading the charge now for United. And Warford in. Manchester United throw. Hughes. And a long cross there by Gitman. And now Gibson might get it back to the embarrassment of West Ham, and he just got his hands to it there, Parks, and West Ham were in terrible trouble there for a moment. But it's a throw to Manchester United, and the score remains West Ham 0, Manchester United 1. Whiteside. Corner. Gibson will take it. McGrath's gone forward, making a late run for them, and it's with little Orveston. Now Gibson onto the right foot, and not the best of crosses. Robson, Moran, good work by Martin again. Those two centre-backs, Martin and McGrath, have been absolutely outstanding today. From Tony Gale. Mark Hughes for Manchester United. Getting a long cross in there. Might come for Stapleton. In the end, it was Dickens who got it away. Orveston. Gibson again. It's been a real revelation. And Hughes trying to get in. They're all trying to get in. Olsen's trying to get in. It's all charged down. Robson again. And in the end, a goal kick. But for a couple of minutes there, they've looked really menacing again, Manchester United.
Yeah, they're turning the screw a little bit, and unfortunately for West Ham, when they're attacking, they're defending in depth, which they have to do, and McAvenny and Cotter are getting isolated up front. They've got to try and get hold of the ball and start building the game again.
Robson shot going well wide. Orveston back to Bailey. 17 minutes of the second half gone. West Ham 0, Manchester United 1. Dickens. Devonshire. Just clipped that through. for Alan Dickens. Devonshire's in a lot of space on the right. West United are pulling players back in numbers. Ward! Oh, a tremendous goal! 1-1, Mark Ward! What a tremendous strike by the little number 7. Caught it first time, no chance for Bailey there. Only his 3rd goal of the season, and he'll not strike a better one than that. 1-1. Well, he's had a tremendous game. As though he'd given it away, but he's got it back again. Devonshire trying to get it in towards McAvenny. Cotty with a shot, blasted there. Devonshire too. Dickens wide this time for Walford. Time to measure up across, and it's a good one to Cotty. Oh, a fraction wide. What a response from West Ham. It could have been 2. Instead of that, it's 1 as Walford floats the ball in. Look how close it was. What about the goal, David Pleat?
I thought the little fella Cotty did brilliantly in the first place. He made a run in field from the right-hand side, which opened up the space for Devonshire. And he played a very intelligent, easy ball inside. I don't know about the angles with Bailey. It's difficult to tell without the shot behind the goal. But it was a super shot. I've just seen also Ron Atkinson over there. I'm not sure if it's blood pressure or a suntan, but he really is getting excited now.
There's Ward again. He's only 5'5", you know, Mark Ward. And he wears size 5 boots, but my word, he packs a bit of punch in them. But United again, and Ward conceding the corner.
Certainly far more exciting than EastEnders, that's for sure.
Well, there are a lot of EastEnders here enjoying it, I tell you. McGrath trying to get in, Robson trying to get in! West Ham were living dangerously again, and they get another corner, United. Jasper Olsen with the corner for Manchester United. Dickens there making sure they make no progress, and 2 West Ham players, Devonshire and Ward. Devonshire at the moment. Well, he found his way clear somehow, Ward. Dangerous game. And Walford forced to give it away. And oh my goodness, the header there looked as though it hacked across the line. I think it was Whiteside or Robson getting in there. Touch and go for West Ham as one thrill spills upon another. Dickens. And now Big McGrath. Ormiston. A floater, and Gale is there. Dickens getting it away. 1-1 the score. McGrath. Surely the pace will slacken soon. McGrath now, and in goes Martin. A throw to Manchester United. Pike finding McAvenny, but Ormiston got there first. Robson, Gale's header, Harris. Here's Ward. Harris, and McAvenny just caught offside. Going to be more trouble for West Ham. Gibson! Olsen! And two fine saves, particularly the first one from Cox. It's a match that leaves you breathless at the moment, as Paris now seeks to get Ward away. First save was an excellent save by Fox, stood up well to it.
He's made one or two excellent stretches this half. He's done very well. He wasn't employed too much first half, but he certainly earned his corner in this second period.
Here's Gibson. And Clark's again. Good, clean hands. And a good long throw. Cottee. So hard to shake off the ball. Good play by him and by Devonshire. No. Oh, it's the back pass. Almost in there. Morviston's back pass, and Bailey none too happy with the defender that put him for a moment under pressure. A little over 20 minutes left, and Terry Gibson warming up for Manchester United, and Robson is down. Now, in all the excitement, David Pleat, I didn't see how Robson went down. Do you know what happened to him?
No, I'm afraid I missed it too, but I'm sure no one at home will miss any of this. No one wants to go make the cup of teas while this is on. This is terrific stuff.
Well, it might be the first chance in the first team for little Terry Gibson. And Robson, not another injury surely for him. He's had such rotten luck with them. And the England captain goes off. Well, that'll be bad news for United fans. Let's see if we can see what happens here. The challenge on Tony Cottee. He twists awkwardly, and that's when the trouble begins. So he's limping off, and up in the stand, the England manager Bobby Robson will look sadly on that scene.
I think whatever the situation with Robson, even if he got the slightest of twinges, it would be wise at this stage to be cautious. When he was in Holland, his treatment was friction and ice and terrific exercising, and it was very compacted treatment. And he has come back quickly, whatever he may feel.
Well, there was a man who stood 5'5" who scored for West Ham, and now there's one at 5'4", Terry Gibson, on for Manchester United. And here are West Ham again. Walford's cross coming in. The flag is up for offside. So little Terry Gibson on. Well, in fact, he's a local lad, born in Walthamstow, not a couple of goal kicks away from Upton Park. Formerly at Tottenham. Gibson trying too much and not getting it away with it. Dickens taking it up again for West Ham, and look, it's Stapleton who's got to go back there and defend, and Dickens got the better of him. The cross comes in, but it won't reach Cottee. Ward getting it in. Harris, no, foul there and a free kick to Manchester United. The news from the dressing room is that we believe it could be ankle ligaments which are the problem for Brian Robson. That could be pretty unpleasant, David.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a terrible blow for Brian Robson. He's had so many problems over the last few months. It seems as though his bad luck just continues. Ron Atkinson will be very interested now to see how Hughes shapes up with Gibson. Gives him a few minutes to see the potential there. Both very quick, both with tremendous goal-scoring records, and it may just be that it gives him something to think about for the future.
Gibson there. This could be trouble, and Gibson almost got in there. Walford, oh, good play. For a moment it looks as though it might have broken loose for him, but it didn't quite. But his speed was there for everybody to see, and certainly the West Ham defenders. Red faces there. the anguish. Mike Duxbury, I can see in the back there. There are a whole United party enjoying this, as indeed everybody around here. 1-1. And only a fool would say which way this game is going to go now, as McAvenny shows his pace, cuts it back well for Dickens, and put in! It's off the post! I don't believe it! It looked easier to score than anything else at that moment, and the foul by Martin on Jesper Olsen, and Alvin Martin, the West Ham skipper, I think is going to be the third of their players to go in the book.
That was quite
Mark Ward
remarkable.
went in, and McAvenny went in, and now Alvin Martin's got in. Sorry, David.
That was quite remarkable. McAvenny did tremendously well there. There's his acceleration, terrific, and what a cool pass. I felt there was an offside area there, but the linesman kept his flag down, and that should have been the second goal.
So it's a free kick to Manchester United, coming up towards the last quarter of an hour, and the score standing at 1-1. And the rain still slanting down across East London. A throw to Manchester United. There first. Finds Gibson. It's Martin. Back to Fox. Well, we've had some thrillers on live television, but few that have beaten this one today. Ward with the throw. McAvenny. Goal kick. Devonshire. Don't think that'll get through to Dickens. Gibson to Gibson. This is Terry Gibson. Going to get Mark Hughes away. Ward gets it back for Paris. So what have United done now? They've put Gibson up and they've withdrawn Frank Stapleton into the midfield on the right-hand side and put Norman Whiteside in Robson's place and, in the middle of the midfield. Is that right, David?
Yes, in effect, really. I think they've given Olsen a bit of a free roll.
Cotty now. Cotty! West Ham in the lead! Look at the joy! And little Cotty! Talk about a goal out of nowhere, and the pass made by a United player. And Cotty beating Bailey to it into the empty net. And West Ham have come from behind to take the lead. Gibson. Stapleton. Terry Gibson. And it was Ward who got that away. Alveston. And here's Paris. Dickens. Ward. And again it's Ward.
with Cotter today. He doesn't seem to get a lot of media attention, but he does not sniff out space well, and he's so bright and sharp to get into positions.
He didn't make the header there. McGrath got there before him. Now, can United strike back again without Brian Robson, who's off injured with, we fear, ankle ligaments, having taken the lead? And now 2-1 down. Gale. Oh, Gibson will get there fast. No, he won't. There was little room for error there. And Gale very nearly putting Parks and West Ham in all sorts of trouble. 2-1 to West Ham. Potty keeping it in miraculously. Not only that, finding Devonshire. McAvenny to Devonshire. Dickens is in there looking for the header. It might come to Ward. No, it's with McGrath. Olsen. Gale. Will he try another back pass? No. It's been covered by Walford.
It's only the 4th occasion this season where Manchester United have conceded more than 1 goal.
Thank you, my statistician friend. Walford's gone gamely down the left for him, but he's found Pike. Oh, a nice little reverse ball that just clipped a United player, didn't get back to Devonshire. 11 minutes remaining. McGrath. Ward. Rolling it into the space for Paris. Back for Ward. Back again for Paris. Again for Ward. Pike waiting in the middle. Here's Pike. Now Martin. Such determination, looking for the right bounce and got it. But then was pushing in on an opponent, and the referee decided enough was enough, and he's given a free kick to Manchester United. David Pleat.
He's a brave man, Martin. He plays with his socks rolled down, no shin pads. He takes a few liberties, but my word, he's an inspirational character.
Walford. Devonshire. Walford. Cotty. Good control, a lovely turn, and a nice little ball for Pike. Played in now for McAvenny. Will it come for Dickens, who's got Cotty on his right? Corner. What excitement! Well, if these two sides do meet in the next round of the FA Cup, and I think Ipswich might have something to say about that on Tuesday, but if they do, there won't be a spare seat in this stadium, that's for sure. $22,000 here today. Ward. Shaking off one, shaking off another, getting his cross in! And it didn't quite come for Potty, because Moran was there to put it behind for the West Ham corner. 8 minutes left.
Devonshire's done very well. He's recovered from that nasty head injury early on. The thing that's really pleased me about both sets of players is tremendous fitness, particularly the West Ham boys, the way they've kept going into this game. Although they're at home, tremendous fitness and speed. There's about 3 of them now with socks rolled down, but they're going to fight all the way to the end. They've had a wonderful Sunday afternoon.
Terry Gibson. Paul McGrath. Getting in there. United throw. header for Dickens and now for Pike. Understand that Paul Goddard's doing a few exercises for West Ham up the tunnel. Whether they are thinking of making a late substitution. Martin again, he battled in on 1-2 headers there for West Ham. Paris, Ward, it looked like a handball, and indeed it was. Bought really as a replacement when Paul Allen went to Tottenham. And he's done well. Well, let's see whether United can do equally well. Here they come with this free kick. Colin Gibson with it. George Paris getting it away. Whiteside blasting it too high.
I think United have been a little bit unfortunate. Robson's injury has made them slightly disorganised.
Could you understand about a substitution for West Ham? We understand Paul Goddard's warming up.
I would be very surprised. He's picked his team. They've all fought very well. There's been a great camaraderie amongst the West Ham players this afternoon, and I think they'll all see it out. It'll be a famous victory for them, coming from behind against Manchester.
Yes, if you just join us in the tail end of this game, West Ham leading by 2-1 against Manchester United, with 6 minutes of a pulsating game now left.
Although to be no consolation to Ron Atkinson, it really opens up the championship race and makes it all set for a terrific, exciting finish.
Yes, I don't think Ron will worry about that. If they could have been 20 points ahead at this stage of the season, he'd have been more than happy. Pike, Devonshire. Devonshire. It might fall for McAvenny, taken off his foot by Jesper Olsen. And here come United, stopped by Paris, and then by Pike, and then by the third P, Fox. Olsen. Kick to Manchester United. 5 minutes left, and whatever happens in those 5 minutes, there's hardly ever been a better advertisement for all the great qualities of the British game than we've seen here today. There's so much skill, and so much fire, and so much excitement, and a little bit of drama thrown in for good measure.
There's some good referees in the West Ham crowd.
Most of them blowing whistles, I think, as well, David. Gibson, a flick across, they claim a handball. But the referee didn't want to know about that, and Potty just happy to put it away into no man's land. And United, with their goalkeeper Gary Bailey, wanting to plant it forward again. Stapleton, Olsen. Walford away. McGrath holding it at bay again. Gibson, that's going to be a West Ham throw.
Young Pike, I nearly said young Pike because it's his testimonial. He's got camp. He's done so well to come back into the fray today and to play as he's played.
29 years old. Tremendous little servant for the club as well. Left. United thought it was their throw. Instead, it's a free kick for West Ham. McAvenny. Pike. Walford. Got it in again. Stabbed away there by Devonshire for Walford. Played in again, but it won't go for the corner. Kidman gets it away for Manchester United. Can they yet save this game? 2.5 minutes remaining and West Ham leading 2-1. Gale gets it back a long way, but will it go for the corner? No, because Parks was out. Still warming up there by the West Ham bench.
That just might be a token or just a threat to any of the players who feel they're looking to come off.
That's what you would do, is it?
Well, I think sometimes you can use that as a little bit of a psychological ploy to make them aware that someone's coming off if you're not on your mettle.
Right side. Gibson's trying to make the break, but Martin is there to stop him. 90 seconds remaining. West Ham leading 2-1. United pressing forward again. Albiston with their throw. Olsen. Moran. Wolford didn't get to that one. Hughes playing it back. And now Potty. Hughes again for Manchester United. Now Wolford with a chance to bang it away, which he's done. But another United throw. And the pressure remains on West Ham. We're inside the last minute.
Not a spectator left the ground.
Kidman with the throw for Manchester United. Wolford up above them. Potty getting it away, but not very far. It'll come to Whiteside, driven wide. Your quick final summing up, David.
Well, I think it's just personified everything that's good about English League football at the highest level. It's been fierce, it's been skillful, and I said earlier on, it's so important that the teams that are fortunate enough to get the live projection on the television play with a good feeling for the game. It's been played in a great spirit, and I would think that both clubs and all the football will be absolutely delighted with what we're seeing this afternoon.
Well, it's been good to have you with us. I must say we've had an absolutely splendid game. West Ham leading then 2-1. Gibson. Dickens. Well, he had the chance to hammer that one away down towards the corner flag, but it was a deflection. We played a half minute of injury time now. West Ham 2-1. And it's their throw with George Paris. Ward, and another throw to West Ham. The second still ticking away, and you think now, but you can never be sure, that it might be all up for Manchester United. Again, Martin gets up and wins it in the air. Again, McAvenny is battling after the ball, but was pulling back on Moran. Now, the last assault for Manchester United. Thumped forward towards that West Ham penalty area. Met by Alvin Martin and then by Steve Wolford, just when it looked as though little Gibson might get in. The referees looked at his watch again. Everybody in the ground, the West Ham fans, are calling time as their team hang on. They still can't get the cross in. Albiston tried, he dummied, but there were two West Ham defenders there. It's United's throw. Played 2 minutes of time added on now. And a corner. Well, they have to allow time for a corner, of course. But now let's see what happens with this one. Floated in there. They all came in and West Ham got it away. The final whistle. A tremendous game comes to an end. It even had that little drama right at the end. 2-1 to West Ham. Mark Ward the first goal after Brian Robson, who went off injured. had put United into the lead, and Tony Cottee, the number 10, the winner. The game itself has also been the winner today, and I hope at home you've enjoyed it.
As a result, then, West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. It means a miserable weekend that for Manchester United. Let's just take a little look at the table, and there is the table. Manchester United in Manchester United, I hope you can hear me now. Manchester United in second place still, and West Ham taking much closer order in 5th, and West Ham with matches to play here at Upton Park. Let's go to the dressing room area now, and it's Alvin Martin, the West Ham skipper, talking to Martin Tyler.
Alvin, it was magnificent to watch. What was it like to play in?
Exciting. I think you're chuffed you got that in the cameras.
And what about the value of West Ham's victory over Manchester United?
Well, we knew how important it was as a league table stood yesterday. It's a fantastic result. It throws it wide open. And a tremendous spectacle of football for everybody to see. Great.
A goal down at half-time. What did John Lyall say to you then?
He just said, keep trying to do the right things. You know, we kept going forward. We lost our way a little bit. We come out with the attitude of just keeping plugging away, really, and hoping that something might happen. It did in the end, and it was great. Brilliant.
In the past, West Ham have been known as a bit of a soft touch. What is it this year that's given you this extra strength?
I think we've got players with commitment. Little Wardy's come in and done a brilliant job for us. Frank McAvenny, he just gets his foot in everywhere. And we've brought good players, and everybody in the team, people like Alan Dickinson, I thought George Parrish today, to come in and play right back, you know, and do as well as he did, and look like an all-time pro. It's fantastic to see kids coming through, and really the future looks very bright with people like that to come in.
Great. Thanks very much, Alvin. Let's go back upstairs to Jim.
And I think you're hearing me okay now. A quick comment from the two lads on what we've seen this afternoon. Ian.
Well, I think they just about deserved their victory, West Ham. Delighted to see they got a little bit of revenge from that game they had up in Manchester in the Milk Cup.
And Jimmy Greaves?
Well, it was a cup tie, wasn't it? It was a marvellous atmosphere, and it was played like a cup tie. Desperate situation, Jim, for both sides. One winner, West Ham.
Sad about Brian Robson.
Oh, it's problems, isn't it? And a big worry for everybody.
Right, but West Ham still with a shout for the title, Ian?
I think they're all in with a shout. I mean, it's wide open now, Jim, anybody's title. But my team, my tip for the top at the moment, holding top position.
Okay, that's it then from Upton Park. A great day here for the Hammers, a bad one for Manchester United. From us all, a very good afternoon.